So your reading goals are ambitious for this year, but you're stuck in a reading slump. What are we gonna do about that? I have 6 books that are gonna end that reading slump ASAP and get you back in the mode, get you back locked in. And you're gonna wanna wait until the very last one because that book is the most insane page turner, can't put it down. You're gonna love it. Starting off at number 1, we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book is absolutely delightful. It's lovely. It's just, I think your favorite romantic comedy, and like with your favorite actors, the movie that you want to watch anytime you're sad or anything, this is that book. Okay, Clementine has recently passed away within the last 6 months, and her aunt gives her this apartment, and this apartment is like very magical. It's like prime real estate, very uniquely built, and her aunt has always told her like, oh, there's magic in the apartment. So we see Clementine kind of like going through the processes of grief, but in a unique way, because I feel like a lot of times people gloss over the grief experience once it's past a certain point and everyone else has kind of moved on, and that's where we find Clementine. One night in this magical apartment, she meets a stranger, and they're at 2 different points in their life, and the story that is told is just so good. I literally cried multiple times reading this, but not like painful cry. It was just one of those good cries, you know? Literally, if I could describe this book in one word, I would say lovely. It was just, the writing was really good. It definitely, you can sense this is a writer who experiences all of the things that the characters are going through, and she has a very close personal relationship to those things, which I think made the writing even more moving. It just really captures how messy like love and loss can be, and also grief, which is kind of low-key like a common theme in some of these books by accident. I don't know. I don't know, but it's really good. Number 2, we have My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Odessa Moshfegh. This is an experiment. This is an experimentary book. I don't even know how to describe the writing style, because if you've ever read this author before, her writing style was just so significantly individual to her. The way the story unfolds is very unique and very untraditional to many writing styles. If your coping mechanism to deal with all your problems is to sleep, this book is for you. You're gonna love this book, because that is essentially what we find our main character doing. Again, she is processing the grief of losing both her parents fairly close together, and she's quite young. She's like probably like early mid-20s, and so in order to process all of these things that have happened to her, she decides she's gonna sleep for a year. So when I first understood that's what this book was about, when I was reading it, I was like, what? Like, it's a good book to break your reading slump, because you're literally gonna be like, I have to understand like what is her thought process. It's so insane. And like a lot of the things that she does are kind of like you don't really relate to her because of her behavior. Me personally, maybe some of y'all can, hey, I'm not judging, but me personally, I couldn't relate to her behavior because it was very selfish. But in that way, I feel like it was really interesting to read and therapeutic, because it's kind of like sometimes you do have to be selfish and do things that are genuinely only benefiting you, and almost like to the detriment of other people, in order to heal. It's a very easy read. It's a very quick read. You could devour this in one sitting. It's going to break you out of your reading slump, and honestly, it's going to get you to read more of Odessa Moshfegh's work, because there is literally, to my knowledge, no one else that writes. Number 3, we have a fun one, The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This book, if your favorite comfort movie is a horror movie, you are going to love this book. So essentially, it takes inspiration from like all of our favorite cult classic horror movies: Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Leprechaun, or the one I've never seen Leprechaun, but I think that's what one of the characters is kind of connected to. Carrie. It's and then all of these girls are older, they're in their 30s, 40s, they survive these attacks, and now they have a support group where they go and they support each other. I really thought that was interesting, an interesting take compared to like slasher books and like books that are kind of like horror books. All of these women that have been attacked and harmed, they're not victims. They kind of like take on their trauma and morph it into something else. And it's cool to see like the after of these movies that we all love. They all like fight back against their enemy, because in this book the final girls become targeted again, and we kind of have to like go through that. I did enjoy it because, one, I didn't guess the plot twist, which normally when I read thriller or horror, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's this person. And then I'm mad because it is that person. But this one, I did not know who the main villain was going to be. And I was kind of like irritated that I didn't, because it was almost obvious, but not really. If you are a horror movie person, but sometimes horror reading can be a little bit much, which is sometimes me, this one is perfect. And also I really enjoy, there's like little excerpts throughout the book that like tie each girl to her movie, her franchise, which is like based off of a franchise that most of us know, which is really cool. I've liked that aspect of it. It was a really unique reading experience. I've never read anything like it. I think it's fun. Again, it's easy, and it's another great one that is going to be a page turner and going to get you out of that reading slump. Number 4. Now this is quite popular one. I kind of debated whether I wanted to include on the list, because I wanted to be like, oh, I don't want to put like popular books on there, but I had to, because it just simply is one of those books that is you're gonna not stop turning the pages. It is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is the only R.F. Kuang that I've read. She is on my TBR. Haven't gotten a chance to get to her work yet. I've heard really great things. So Yellowface, I knew that Yellowface was a lot different than her other work, but when I read the synopsis of Yellowface, which is basically this white woman who is friends with this Asian author who is very successful. The Asian author passes away in a freak accident, and the white woman essentially takes her work and takes credit for it. And when I read that, I was like, what? Like, I was so flabbergasted by that. I was like, this is crazy. And I hadn't seen anyone talk about it till after I read it. Like, I didn't know that it was like a popular book until after I read it. But this is I wouldn't say rage bait. I know everyone says that. It's more like a, wow, like you really are audacious, like you are bold. That's how you feel. You cannot stand the main character so much that it's like you have to keep reading in order to see her find her demise. Like, you have to keep reading to figure out and see how karma handles her, because it's just so crazy. And then the way the writing is, how it's like the narrator, the character, she thinks that like you're on her side, and how that is written is like really cool and interesting. Also, it's critique. The social critique is so strong and so important. I think it will keep your attention if you're into that. The critique of, who can write about what, like who can write about certain topics, and gentrification and colonization, and racism within the publishing industry, and the things that readers want to see, even if they're not important stories. So the list goes on the issues that this book tackles in a very unique and interesting way. So I think this is a good book to break any reading slump, especially if that's your type of reading. Number 5. Now this one is a personal favorite of mine. This is The Between by Tanana Reeve Dew. This book is absolutely phenomenal. It's supernatural horror, like genre bending, which Tanana Reeve Dew is chef's kiss at. Like, this book, you don't know what's scarier in this book. Is it the supernatural element, or is it the very real element of racism that is coming after this man and his family. The book starts off with, Hilton is our main character in this book, and Hilton as a child had a near-death experience where he almost drowned, and then he has another experience seeing someone else almost die, and those experiences kind of like burrow away inside him. Like, he doesn't really fully remember them until he is an adult and he experiences something similar. And also he is facing this attack from from a racist that is trying to harm Hilton and his family. And then Hilton kind of goes down this descent of like, is he crazy or is what's happening real? And it's the tying of the two is just so beautiful and amazing. It's scary. You almost have to finish it so you can not be scared anymore, which is where I was at. It's kind of hard to read at nighttime. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaked out. But it's not freaked out in a like, oh, ghost. It's freaked out like in a haunting way. Like, this is so real. And Tananarive, her writing is so immersive. This is actually one of the first books that I tandem read with. I read the book and I listened to the audiobook. 10 out of 10 experience, would recommend. Even if you just listen to the audiobook, fantastic. It weaves mental health, racism, trauma, memories, family issues, marriage issues, parental issues, like all embedded in this. It's so perfect. Like, and all the puzzle pieces fit together, nothing's forced. It's a great story. Number 6, this is another personal favorite. A lot of these are my personal favorites, so I might be a little biased, but I'm telling you, you pick any of these up, you're gonna want to get into either more books by that author, more books in that genre. So Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This book genuinely feels like stepping into a time capsule and like watching history unfold before your eyes in a way that it doesn't feel like someone is like lecturing history facts at you. Like, you are learning through experience with these characters. These characters are clearly built off of real people, real things, which makes the story feel more real. Like, you feel like this is something that really happened, and honestly, it probably is. You follow this woman and her life, her trauma, her loves, her losses. It's a phenomenal story. I really think everybody should read this. Zora Neale Hurston was actually an anthropologist, which is how I got introduced through her work when I was studying for my anthropology degree. And you can see how she tells that story with that anthropological lens, the language, the culture, the people. Like, it's really a love letter to them and to their experiences. It's so good. It's really good, and it's just a masterclass on learning through experience. Number 7, which I told you to wait and hold on to, Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. This book is actually insane. It's crazy. I love it so much. Premise of the book: one day in the world, all the white people wake up and they walk into the nearest ocean and disappear. That is how we enter this new world. The people that are left behind, obviously the Black and brown people, are trying to navigate this new world with a huge absence. And it's really an interesting case study on identity and self-identity and knowing who you are, knowing where you came from, and understanding the importance of that and the power in that. And that's, you kind of don't realize that's the story that's being told until like probably almost close to the end. But once you get to the end and all that is tied together, it's like an aha moment. Like, it's so good. And we see Charlie was actually imprisoned when the event happened. That's how it's referred to in the book. And when the event happened, all the inmates were kind of just left to fend for themselves. And so he ended up getting out, and the new structured world order has different qualifications and different ways in which like you can become different things. So Charlie ends up using his experience to be a professor at Howard. And the description of how Howard is and how these cities are after the event is like so cool and interesting, and like kind of like it just makes you think. Like, it makes you very critical and makes you think like, geez, like what would happen if that happened, or how would we navigate, and like, is that the, like, it's just very analytical. It really makes you think. I really enjoyed that. Also, his daughter, he has a daughter who is biracial, and her experience as a biracial person whose family she literally watched walk away into the ocean, and kind of her coming to terms with that, and her also coming to terms with like the racism that she grew up with, and how it's kind of like ingrained, and now she's projecting it onto other people, is really interesting. The writing of this was really great. I think it's a learning experience. Those are my 7 books to break you out of any reading slump. Now, the key to getting out of a reading slump, I truly believe, is just picking up something different, picking up something new. Ask your librarian for a recommendation. Just try to find something new, that a new genre, a new author. Introduce yourself to a new world to get that interest, to get that spark back in your reading. I think that's the key to breaking any reading slump. If you like any of these books, if you like books that are similar to these or maybe by the same authors, let me know. Give me some recommendations in the comments. I'm always looking for new things to read and talk about. See you next time.